Hey guys, this is Summit Studios 2K back with more Walking Dead stuff, and today I'm going to be talking about Rick versus Shane and who I think is the better leader overall between the two. Obviously, they are pretty much complete polar opposites when it comes to how they go about being leaders, but let me start by saying I do think they are both good leaders in their own rights. They just have two different versions of how they go about it. But overall, I do think they are both good leaders and show good leadership qualities. But these are my opinions on what I think about the two going up against each other for leadership. And for most of season two, it was sort of this battle between them of who would be the alpha male in the group, and it was really up and down at times. Like Rick overall was looked more as to the leader at this point, but Shane wanted that, and obviously Shane wanted Lori and Carl too. So let's get started. Um, for Rick, my main problem with Rick is, much like a lot of people, is I think he's too nice. He tries to save everyone, and he cannot really do these really hard decisions. Like with Randall, he wasn't able to decide on that. He With the whole Sophia thing, he was always conflicted about should we look, should we not, what should we do, should we go. Um, Shane, he is a loose cannon. Like that's really the pretty big issue with Shane there. He's really up and down. He's done some pretty rash decisions before. So that's probably the biggest problem with Shane there. Like I said, Rick struggles with tough decisions overall, but Shane is able to make those tough decisions. Like he's able to do things in the group that other people normally wouldn't, just to keep the group alive overall. And Rick, he doesn't put his family first, which even Shane says in the one episode to him about not putting Carl before everything that's going on. And Shane does. Like, Shane keeps the group safe, but Rick tries to, but he can't keep his own family safe. Like, there's a couple times in the season where Lori's in trouble because of Rick, because Rick is out and about, always going out, because Rick tries to do too much overall. He just tries to always be the one to do this and that, and he just really can't. Like, he can't handle all that. Uh, Shane, another problem is he's self conflicting. He really has these inner battles with himself, as really you don't see any greater proof of that than the episode with Randall in Better Angels when he's in the barn, and you can just tell that he's sort of at war with himself in his head. He starts smacking his head around, and he really just has these really crazy outburst moments, like at the end of the mid-season finale. That was probably the best example of Shane can be a really hothead at times, but overall he does keep the group safe. He does what's absolutely necessary. Uh, like I said, Rick tries to save everyone, and Shane just survives at any cost. If someone who is a threat to the group has to die, he'll be the one to do it. He'll death in order to keep other people safe, he will. And so really he's just a no holds barred kind of guy where if this is a issue, we got to fix it no matter what, no matter who it hurts, no matter what. We just got to keep everyone safe. And he does a good job overall at keeping everyone safe. Like Shane doesn't really have too many problems with that. Um, Rick, he doesn't really take care of Carl. I sort of touched on that before about how he doesn't put his family first, and Shane says it, but Rick is just always losing track of Carl. I mean, that goes with Lori too. I mean, that's on both of them, but he's always sneaking out, himself into trouble in the season, and it gets ridiculous because I don't get how this kid in this world they're living in can just always sneak around without anybody realizing he's gone. And so if Rick can't handle that leadership, he really shouldn't be the leader if he can't protect his own family, because that should come first and foremost to him, in my opinion. And Shane, he really protects Lori and Carl first, that Rick doesn't. I mean, looks at them as part of the group. He tries to protect the whole group, But Shane thinks Lori and Carl first and then the group because, he obviously loves both of them with everything that happened in the first season. And he just really does everything possible to protect them. And if Lori's in trouble, Shane is making a beeline right to wherever she is because he just wants to be that person. But ever since Rick came back, he's been pushed out and he started slowly and surely going a little bit crazy, Shane. And, like I said, loose cannon, really self conflicting. Um, Now, Rick, he is good physically and with guns. Like, he's obviously was a sheriff's deputy, I should say, not really a job anymore in the world. But he's able to handle himself and kill the walkers as they're coming and just escape time after time again. But Shane, he is better physically and with guns than Rick because even Rick says at one point in the season when they're training everyone, Rick even said, "Hey, Shane is the best trainer I've ever seen with guns. Learn from him, have him teach Carl because he's better." Like, Shane is just able to fight off the walkers better than Rick, so I think overall Shane is more of a asset to actually fighting them off. Even though Rick, like I said, he's good too. Like, Rick is above most of the group when it comes to that. He's probably, I'd say, third, just behind Daryl, because Daryl might even be above Shane killing the walkers. But I'd put Shane definitely above Rick. To end this off, I'm going to do a quote from each person just to sort of see their view on things and what it's about. I actually have two quick ones for Rick here. I have "We don't kill the living" from season 1, and then "I need to think this through some more" from season 2. "We don't kill the living," they touched on that in season 2, and Rick, his response was, "That's before the living tried to kill us." So, of course, like, some big events happen in season 2 where he sort of comes to terms with what the world is now and things aren't as they used to be. But, like I said, tough decisions. Rick isn't really that strong of a person for that, and I need to think this through some more. Rick would always say that in season 2 because he was never able to make up his mind for tough decisions. He would think, let's do this, or should we do that? And then he'd just be thinking about it the whole time, and things would happen while he was thinking, and they were because of him because he couldn't make up his mind. He just needs to think of the right decision and go with that because he's the leader, and he just needs to make up his mind so no one else gets hurt. And if he's going to be the leader, he's got to do that, and they have to follow him. Now, Shane's quote I have here is from season 2, and that quote is, "The right decision is the one that keeps us alive." Because this is really what Shane is about. Shane just decides on what is going to keep everyone alive. No matter what, that's what we have to do. We're living in a world where humanity is lost, so we can't really go by that. We have to just keep ourselves alive and worry about ourselves before these other people. And that's really what Shane is about overall. And in my opinion, sort of wrapping things up here, I think that overall Shane would be the better leader. I mean, a lot of events happen with Shane in the second season, obviously, but he's definitely morally off on some points, especially in season 1 with the whole Lori thing and coming to a head there in the CDC when he starts grabbing her and all that. So he's definitely morally off, but I mean, his actual decisions for the group have been par on. That's how it's got to be, and he sticks with his decisions too. He doesn't go back and forth like Rick does. So I think Shane would definitely be a more consistent leader than Rick, but like that's just my opinion. But you know, let me know yours in the comments and your thoughts on who you think is the better leader and your reasoning behind it, because I want to hear from you guys too. And I will be doing a season 2 review of The Walking Dead shortly after this, so look for that up soon. And if you want to see more, this is a new channel I'm starting, and I'll be doing movie news and reviews too. I'm just sort of starting it up with The Walking Dead because it's relevant now. But yeah, thank you. This is Summit Studios 2K, and see you soon.